I remember we got I was still busting tables at the time up until that year. After that year, when I went to Australia, I was able to like stop, you know, and make a living riding. And I remember Airwalk paid me $300 a month and I could pay my rent.
Sick.
Yeah, I was like, dude, what? But the first X Games, they gave away these remote control cars. Like and all the dudes are like, these are sick, man. These are sick. And then my Midwest roots, the way I was raised was like, how much is that, I wonder? And they're like, it was $80. I was like, oh, I'm returning that. So I came home and returned mine and got cash. And that's all the money I made from the first X Games.
Wow. You know, Danny had a really great idea.
I made $80 first X Games. What?
Unleashed with the Dingo and Danny, fueled by Monster Energy.
You got to find that place in your life where you can get away from everything, clear your mind, and you start to get creative, right? I do, at least. And I get ideas for songs or tricks or whatever. It's riding down the street. So I do this 10-mile ride, not only as exercise, but it clears my mind.
Right.
I still do the same ride. Like 20-something years, 25 years, 26 years.
Same ride, same route and everything?
What's the route?
I park at Shamrock. I go all the way down to...
Did you get a lot of your tattoos done at Shamrock?
Yeah. Well, I got to remember where, but a lot. Yeah, Mark.
I figured that's pretty OG spot.
Yeah.
Like that's where like Ozzy Osbourne and like old rock. This is where Dr. Wu started.
Mm-hmm.
You got any Wu tattoos?
No, but I know Wu.
Yeah.
Not yet. But I knew him when he was apprenticing there. You apprentice under Mark, you're like OG. But like it goes all the way down to Gower, then up Gower to Hollywood, Hollywood to La Brea, down La Brea to Melrose, over Melrose, up Fairfax, back to Sunset. And stop by Brooklyn Projects. Hit it. You know, you've been there, right?
I love Dom.
Yeah.
Do you drop into the ramp, or you just kind of, what up, Dom?
No, I say what up, shoot a quick photo, get back out, get back to the meter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Dom fan.
Yeah, Dom's great.
I like Dom because Dom's like a realist. Like for good or bad, he'll like speak his mind, and you know I appreciate that, especially in today's world. I feel like people are a little soft.
He's East Coast too. East Coast is raised that way.
Yeah, he's East Coast. He's Jersey.
Yeah, we usually, I offend people all the time, and I think I'm being funny.
Those braids right now are
I'm
offensive.
offended right now.
Yeah. Well, I'm having like a bit of a bad hair day, so I kind of rocking this braid thing. I was waiting to see how long it would take for you to make fun of me.
I'm super offended. Like I don't even want to look that way. I'm straight the opposite.
Dude, check out my new shades. These are pretty offensive too.
Oh no.
Yeah. They're monster green. What do you think?
It's like a Tom Petty video. You look good.
Cool. I haven't seen a Tom Petty video.
Well, are we all wearing glasses? Well, let me pull out my...
You can put your glasses on.
I'm going to take mine off.
I just found these like the other day. Like Oakley sent me these a while ago, and I was a little... this is a Christmas present. They came in a Christmas stocking from Oakley. And I was a little... I didn't know if I could pull them off. And literally last week, I put them on and went to like a Cinco de Mayo thing. And people were trying to steal them.
You got a lot of compliments?
Yeah.
Way more than I should have.
I don't know if you can pull them off. Maybe in a little bit we'll be able to figure it out. But
they look all right.
I feel like it's a tease because sometimes when people compliment you so much on like an item of clothing, you're like, wait, is it good? Or are they
you're
just,
saying
like,
they were like actually being like, yo, fucking these things are
Now,
horrible.
if you had those glasses on with the hat off and a ponytail, it might not be the same vibe. But right now,
is it because of the NASCAR hat?
Vibe is good.
I haven't tried it with another hat
teasing.
yet.
I'm teasing.
I haven't tried it with another hat. Oh, I tell a lie. I hike with a huge bucket hat, like a gigantic bucket hat. But I don't let the public see that one either. That's just kind of like to keep my shoulders, you know, out of the sun.
I hear
You look way flyer now.
But I feel like that song, I wear my sunglasses at night, but it's not night, but it feels night.
Yeah,
your future's so bright. You
I got
gotta
sponsored
wear
by these guys,
shades
dude.
at night.
Clocks and Colors.
How many sponsors do you think you've had like put together over your career?
Are you guys recording all this shit?
Yeah.
Should we introduce this?
yeah.
Oh,
guest? 'Cause
sorry.
we have an amazing personality in here.
I've been excited to do this one for a long time because I met Rick Thorne when I was a teenager at his ex girlfriend's house.
Oh man,
Cheryl.
don't remind me. No.
She was like a famous hairdresser or something, like a rock and roller. And then my girlfriend at the time, who was way older than I am, anyway, we don't need to talk about that.
This is getting...
So wait a second. So basically,
I was a teenager and I met...
Basically, it was a shady situation when we first met.
Yeah.
But what's crazy is it's like you meet, I'm sure this has happened to both of you, and there's a story I wanted to talk to you about you, because it's, anyway, it's I can't date stuff because it's, we're dated here. But when I met you, it was like meeting a hero. Like I grew up, where I grew up, BMX was kind of a big thing. And one of my best friends was obsessed with you. And I grew up like looking at your posters, like your old Vans posters and all that shit. So when I met you, it was like one of the first people that was like a non-snowboarder, like type celebrity or action sport person that I met, that I was like, fuck, like I grew up with pictures of you on my wall. So that like
a shady ass situation just ruined the whole image of me right there.
Right. And then I think did you come? It was like Justin Timberlake's birthday that we went to that night.
Yeah, we did. Yep. So yeah, I was on top of that hill.
And then I was asking Danny this morning when the first time you met, because I forgot about that. I blacked out that night, FYI. And then the first time we actually met as a group was Boost Mobile. We're all Boost Mobile homies.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Where you at?
Where you at?
And
chirp, yeah. Cha-ching too.
We did a celebrity golf tournament
in Arizona.
And we won an award that day. We won an award.
And I wore all white.
Not welcome back
And
ever
I
award.
don't think we played one solid straight hole.
No, because you guys rolled the golf cart or something, if I remember right.
Apparently, we did like $120,000 in what do you call them? What are those trees?
They're called cactuses, and you took out like a 30-year-old cactus on this golf course, and
we ran up a big bill.
That cactus is older than all of you combined. And we're like, oh,
yeah. That was a good time, though.
And it was like stuck to the
I'll
front
never
of the
forget
golf
when
cart.
we gave the golf cart come back, and the thing had been rolled, flipped over, and we had those coolers. It was really hot that day, too. But we had those coolers, and the cactuses had, like, there'd been so much cactus, the water was just spurting out of the cooler. And then that night there was a dinner and we won an award, and Jeremy Piven was the host, and he was quite a big star then. I think it was Entourage was his thing. But what I remember him, like, what I think I got up on stage and was like, cheese, because of the old school.
Yeah.
Well, they called him Cheese.
He didn't like that. And then
I slapped him in the face.
yeah, he was rude, and you slapped it right out of him. That was like a shocker.
Anyway, I got him before. Anyway,
did he try to come back and smack you?
He wasn't pumped on that slap, but there's a picture of all of us with him, and he's like trying to smiling, but we got him. We punked him. But that was the first time we all met.
Yeah, Boost Mobile was
cool.
sick, dude. For 9-10 years, no cell phone, dude.
No cell phone,
dude.
bro.
So sick, bruh.
Yeah,
I was on that team for like 9 years.
You might still be on.
Am I?
Have you checked?
I don't know.
I bet our phones are still on, because I lost mine, and I'm sure it's still going somewhere.
That was good times.
I remember when it ended. My phone still worked for a long time after. So who knows? We could like double check on that.
I'm gonna plug those in and see, dude. You know what I mean? Yeah, that was good times though. You guys golf? Remember we've had to play golf? I never played golf.
Nah, he was all right at golf.
I always try like every few years, but then I had like little shoulder injuries here and there, and golfing really takes shoulders. I realized.
It does. Good times.
So you grew up in the Midwest? I do these things I never even knew.
I did.
What state?
Kansas City, Missouri.
Wow. Dang.
Yeah.
That's out there.
It is. But it's not like it's country or anything, you know what I mean?
No, it's like a real city, right?
Yeah, it's like it's got a metropolitan area and suburbs and same state, you know what I mean? It's like a lot less people and a lot less opportunity. Cause like we're talking, you start riding bikes in 1981. You know, nobody caught on to our sports or anything yet. So
and what was
super underground.
What was like the bike scene that you kind of started in? Was it BMX, or were you kind of playing in the streets? So racing?
No, well, first the streets.
Okay.
Yeah, like basically, it's like what everybody does with BMX and skate and stuff.
It was flatland?
Street, well, just being in the streets with your friends, doing wheelies, jumping curbs, all that stuff.
At that time, racing's been around obviously for a minute. Those bikes have been around for a minute. Was there even a freestyle scene?
No, here's the deal. We started racing, but then we would do tricks in the parking lot. Because
so you had to be a part of a racetrack, or like that was like the only thing, right?
Right, but as this group of friends, we would ride and we would jump, you know, in the streets, downstairs and curbs and stuff like that. So for me, I wanted to be a freestyler because I didn't want to be a racer, because I didn't have that race mentality of like, I'm going to get first, and I just wanted to express myself more, right? So in the early days, like freestyle was kind of like a stepchild to racing because racing was the number one thing, right?
Yep.
And no disrespect towards racers at all. It's just, it wasn't my thing. I didn't like it. I'd race with headphones on and just try to style the jumps. I wasn't that competitive like that.
What kind of headphones?
The old school Walkman cassette one, you know?
So sick.
Yeah, dude. And so when the movie Rad came out, everyone was psyched on it, but I wasn't as psyched on it because
Weren't you in Rad?
No, I was psyched on it for exposure for BMX, but it wasn't the way that we, at least me and my crew, or at least me, wanted to be perceived. It was like, what factory do you ride for? What place do you get? And that's your only value. Even as a kid, I was like, no, it's just more to that than that mentality of like being an artist. You know, not that I don't like Rad, but at the time I didn't.
Weren't you in it? Wait, was there another BMX movie?
Yeah. No. I had friends that were in Rad, but like there's BMX Bandits. That's Nicole Kidman.
Were you in that?
No. That was her debut, bro.
You
they
never
rode around with like chest plates and like full
I
face.
thought that you were in Rad.
Really?
I thought you were in Rad.
But I'm not dissing Rad because Rad's got a huge following. I know Crew Jones. I know all those people. They're super rad. Like, it's great. Like, I think it's, but at the time I was 15, you know what I mean? And we were like, we don't want to be compared to racers because we're freestylers. I don't want to be in the parking lot being aside to that. I wanted to be like known as this is its own thing. Because I'd see the kids in California, Eddie Fiola, Blyther, Dominguez at Pipeline and stuff, and they had this organization of this sport, and I wanted to be part of that wasn't attached to just racing. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
But racing was the first, yeah, and I give it all the respect in the world. It just wasn't my thing, you know?
Yep.
We were trying to make a name for ourselves and build our own. I don't know if it's like that with snowboarding. If you have dudes that do one thing and you're like, well, we want to do tricks, you wouldn't want to be in the shadow of that because you got your own thing going on, right? Did you ever have that
for
with
sure.
snowboarding?
I mean, you know, in snowboarding, it's like everything's so focused on one avenue or another, and you know, the progression's so high, but there's also like this huge regression, which is just like doing the complete opposite. You know, like we got people like Kevin Backstrom and other people in snowboarding where like they can just go ride the resort and do some fun side hits, and people are more excited to watch that, on social media than say like the competitive side of it.
Yeah.
Even that too, like I think like snowboarding has a lot of different areas. Competition snowboarding, Olympics, which Danny was a part of. And he's been a part of filming and backcountry and heli and all that shit. But like once you get into like the heli and the backcountry stuff, it's very untouchable for the average human. Whereas like a Kevin Backstrom or somebody that goes to a resort and can like literally record a whole video part in one day at the resort, to a kid's eye it's relatable. Getting in a helicopter and going to the top of a mountain in Alaska is very relatable for 99% of the world. And so I think it's that relatable type side. And then again, you have the competitive side and the non-competitive side. And in our industries, action sports, there's always been room for people that don't compete.
Yeah.
But most likely you do come up competitively because that's what you do as a kid. As a kid, you really don't have much choice. Same as you in the beginning. It's probably like racing was the only outlet. So that's where it started. But you guys did what you preferred to.
And I like competing. It wasn't so much about not being able to compete and be like someone to do video parts and stuff, because I respect all of it. And I respect racing, just for the record, anybody listening. I'm not trying to be like one way or another. I raced. It was great. It wasn't for me, and I wanted something more. I was just born at a time where something was new, and freestyle was new, and it hadn't been fully developed yet. So I wanted to be part of something new, and I just like doing tricks more. That was it. But competitively, I competed for like almost 25 years straight. I liked competing. I kind of miss it sometimes because it pushes me to learn like tricks, you know what I mean? But the thing that a lot of times people I've seen through the years they'll say, oh, I'm an industry guy. Oh, I'm a competitive guy. Well, I've always been like, do it all.
Yeah.
Do a video part. Do the contest. Don't knock the guys at the big contest because, well, maybe you might not be in it. If you were in it, those guys feel a lot differently. They worked for that. There's a different kind of, you worked for your video part. I get it. But it doesn't have to be like one or the other. It's all of it. You know, that's kind of how I've always perceived it, or wanted to be part of everything.
Right.
Know?
And then so who like, how did it all come together? Like who were you looking up to? And then I'm trying to remember, Tony Hawk posted a picture of this trip you guys did in Australia. I didn't even recognize you in that picture.
Yeah,
that was recently too. I just saw that picture in the last couple months.
Yep.
I didn't even recognize you. Like that's how young you were.
I must have been about 20. I don't know what I was, mid-20s or so. But that was a big day out tour.
Big day out.
Yeah, we at the time Airwalk. This is like right before a lot of this stuff cracked. You know, like meaning like sports, like X Games and stuff like that. Mainstream going, what are these guys doing? So Airwalk's like, hey, we want to send you to this event called the Big Day Out, which you know.
Very well.
Because that's your country or where you're from. I had no idea. I was like, okay. And you're going to go with Tony. I was like, okay. And the first show I ever did with Tony Hawk was in 1992. And it was at a state fair in Detroit. And Joan Jett was playing on a stage.
Wow. Right
next to us, and a tornado came and ripped the stage off, and she took off running with her guitar. We're standing on top of the vert ramp like, we should probably get out of here. Tony's rad. But anyhow, so Tony was just a homie. It wasn't like, oh my God, I'm going with Tony Hawk. You know, it was like we were friends, and we had been doing shows for a few years together. So we went there in 96. And I was like, up until that point, I'd only done shows at like state fairs, car shows, boat shows, bike shops, no music festivals at all, but it was like a dream. I did a little bit of Warped Tour. No, I didn't even done Warped Tour yet. Okay. So like, oh, there's going to be some bands playing. I was like, oh, and I looked, I was like, Rage Against the Machine, Porno for Pyros. What is this thing? Turned out, you know, it's a big festival. Anybody out there, 30, 40,000 kids. I found myself on a vert ramp with Tony next to the stage with Rage Against the Machine. I was just tripped out, bro. It was like one of those things where like, whoa, you know what I mean? It was like to me, it was
like, how did I get here?
Kind of. And just the situation.
You're like, pinch me. That's fucking gnarly.
So we get off the ramp. Literally, we do a demo and we get off the ramp because we do like a couple a day or whatever. And, but I'll tell you before I tell the story, Tony, one time Rage was playing right here and the ramp's right here and there's like all these kids. And every time Zach, I don't know, can you cuss on this podcast?
Yeah.
Okay. He's like, on the song Rage Against the Machine, it's fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. He says it 16 times in that song. Tony did a McTwist every time and then popped out at the end. And it was like, what? And then we get down off the ramp and then like we get mobbed by the Beastie Boys. And I was like, this is just like, talk about like, what's
They were
going
in that
on?
picture.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was after a show. And then they were watching the demo and we had no idea. Part of me was like, damn, I should have stepped it up more if I knew Beastie Boys were in the crowd.
What was in your run?
Like a can, you know, X up.
Danny knows what a can is.
Spun a 540. What's a can?
Can is when you shifty it.
Come on, man.
It's like a
Come on, what's a shifty?
Or is it a leg thing?
It's a leg.
It's a leg.
Mm-hmm.
Leg over.
You got it.
Like that.
And you got to point that toe.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. All of my memories and worst falls were doing like the simplest thing on bikes. Like my worst fall first ever was like my dad pushing on me a bike and then making it like, I don't know, 30 feet and then just going down so hard.
Wait, so you rode bikes too?
I mean, I just played around on bikes, and one time I was living in Mammoth and I had this mountain bike kind of set up, and I go to my friend Dave Schiff and I'm like, hey, you want to have a big air competition? And he's like, yeah, let's go. So I pedaled to this jump I found and I'm like, all right. He's like, you go first. So I freaking go and I overshoot the whole jump. I try and ditch this mountain bike. I land on it. My legs are all wrapped up and I'm like bleeding. And he's just like pulls up. He's like, you win. And he just pedaled home. And that was the end of my biking career.
Yeah, it'll get you.
I don't know, like something about it. I just feel like I'd never really learned how to get away from the bike. Right. So I'd always take those diggers. And I guess that's the thing with biking. You just hold on.
Yeah, a lot of times you don't know it's going to happen until after the fact. You're like, damn, what happened just now? And it's usually on something simple. It's like that with snowboarding. You're playing around with your friends. Hey, what's this? Oop, oh, dude. You got to
Last run gets you every time.
Mm-hmm.
A friend of mine was, father was, he got his kid into skateboarding and he showed me this video and this kid's dropping in on like a full-on concrete setup. And apparently the kid had done it like 6 or 7 times and the dad's like, do it one more time. And the kid just face plants, and he showed me the video a couple of weeks ago and I'm like, he goes, yeah, I've been told about the last run thing, and I'm like, he goes, it was my fault, I said do one more.
Yeah,
poor kid just face planted in the concrete. I got some cool BMX cars. That's a BMX car. I got like some pedal stuff here, triple traps. I tried racing for a minute. That was kind of like, again, like that was with like, there was like these small little dirt builds like close to my house, but dude, like dirt jumping on a BMX, it's fucking scary, dude.
Oh yeah, and listen, I just want to make it clear. I'm not dissing racing. Racing's awesome. It's a great family sport.
You can diss racing.
It's just not my thing.
No,
but
I get
dirt
it.
Jumping, like freestyle, gnarly. I mean, there's guys racing too. They're gnarly. They're fast. I get it. freestyle jumping is beast, dude. It's
Gnarly.
beast.
Yeah,
like those
still
walls
today.
they hit, the jumps is like a solid wall. Those guys are gnarly, dude.
Super gnarly.
But it's funny is they look at like vert riders and they go, "You're gnarly," and I was like, it's always weird when you don't do something you feel like it's gnarlier.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, there's just vert, dude. It's not even. They're like, no, dude, and I'm like, you guys are jumping. These jumps are beast.
Yeah.
You know? So, just depends on what you're into. But yeah, you got some bites.
So you were there, first X Games was, fuck, I don't get this wrong, 99?
No, 95.
95, got it so wrong.
San Francisco?
Nope. It was in Newport, Rhode Island.
Really?
Rhode Island.
Yeah.
San Francisco 99 was when Tony Hawk did the 900.
Yep. That's when Tony did it.
That's when it blew up. And that's where I was kind of getting at this. So you were there, like, obviously, were you there for the first X Games?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what happened, just to add to the story about being in Australia, first off, I love Australia. I love Australians. I love that country. If I didn't live in the U.S., I would live there. I swear. I love that place. And when I went there, I had such a great time. But I met Kevin Lyman on that tour, and then I ended up doing the Warped Tour. So that was like right around the time where everything was crazy, you know. Like, and wait, what was the question you asked me again?
What did I ask
How
you?
many chicks did you make out with in Australia?
That was exactly what I asked.
None.
No.
That's
why
question
you
was
wanna
about
move.
X Games. So you were there for the first one.
Right. Okay. So what I'm saying is, leading up to the first X Games was that.
So it was like
that
Warped Tours
time.
before X Games.
Yeah, but it was all that time when all that stuff was happening.
R.I.P. to the
Point
Warped
of
Tour, eh?
Huh?
I said R.I.P. to the Warped Tour.
Oh, I know.
So you've like you originally started BMXing at Warped Tour, and then has your band? Have you played there over the years?
Yeah, we
So
played
you've
it a
done
couple
both?
times. Yeah.
Man,
yeah.
that's so cool. But like, fuck, like
pretty
that.
rad.
It's man, like there's talks about something similar coming back like that, but I don't think it will ever be the same. But you know, like I only ever got to go to the Vans Warped Tour. I was really young when you guys were doing that stuff. So I actually never even went. Back in the day, my brother used to go. My brother was there when Offspring performed. And then there were like these weird, like they built a ramp with like wood shit in it almost. It was like a death ramp. Is that true? Or was that just a myth?
I don't know.
And then,
What, on the first Warped Tour?
nah, just back in Australia, one of the Warped Tours.
No, well, what's his name does the ramps there? What's his name? He's an old school Crab, Dave Crab.
Right.
He's the guy that would put up the ramp, I remember.
Yeah.
He's still OG, or he might be from New Zealand. The Warped Tours over there in Australia were dope, but we lived in tents. We all had to have tents when we went there. Oh, no.
tour bus style.
No, they don't. Well, at the time, they didn't really have tour buses over there.
I was like Australia had tour buses.
They didn't like that, and we would have, but we would also. It was such a the budget. Everyone would pick a tent and pick a spot, and we would tent at the.
You had to set your own tent up too?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Well, that was like me, Cab, Frazier, all the top skaters, and like I did that tour for 15 years. So anyways, we were talking about X Games, and the reason why I brought up Warped Tour is all of that stuff was happening at once. Meeting the Beastie Boys and being from Missouri and all these people, and then there's Tony, and then there's the X Games and Warped Tour. It was exciting, bro. It was an exciting time. It was.
Yeah. You know, it's again, it's just sad that like something like that, something like that needs to come back. I don't think it's that.
It will.
I don't think it's that difficult, and it's like that style of music right now is like what's in. So it's like give the kids what they want. I think it's just going through what we've gone through in the world in the last 12 months, 18 months, 24 months. Everybody's like readjusting, and
It's just all about big festivals though anymore, like big weekend festivals, and they have like 20,000 different types of bands in one venue, and they sell a bunch of tickets, and it's
but
great.
action
It's
sports
great.
fits into
It's great.
that. I think putting a vert ramp, like we were just at the X Games in Japan, and vert ramp was like one of the coolest things that happened. People were into it.
Yeah.
So it's like that time that it's that time warp type thing.
Let's bring it back.
But like you were literally there for like the launch of X Games and then the growth of extreme sports. You knew Tony and Matt Hoffman and these people like pre superstardom. You also went to like superstardom. But like, how was that like transition for you guys of like the first X Games? Like, what was the first X Games even like? Like,
Dude.
I'm sure.
Okay, they had bungee jumping as a discipline, and people were bungee jumping in like a kayak boat, like doing this as a bungee jump. And, yeah,
bungee jumping.
And then they had rock climbing, and hey, that's what you're into. That's what you're into. But we were like clearly like different than those sports. They were still trying to figure it out. I remember we got I was still busting tables at the time up until that year. After that year, when I went to Australia, I was able to like stop, and make a living riding. And I remember Airwalk paid me $300 a month, and I could pay my rent.
Sick.
Yeah, I was like, dude, what? But the first X Games, they gave away these remote control cars. Like these, and all the dudes are like, these are sick, man. These are sick. And then my Midwest roots, the way I was raised, was like, how much is that, I wonder? And they're like, it was $80. I was like, oh, I'm returning that. So I came home and returned mine and got cash. And that's all the money I made from the first X Games.
Wow. You know, Danny had a really great idea.
I made $80 first X Games. What?
Of like X Games, like futuristic, of like bringing back every sport they've ever had in X Games over the years and doing like an Olympic style, 2-week style of like every sport that ever happened in X Games over like a 2-week
But like the
period.
Extreme Olympics, right?
That would
In
be
the sense,
sick.
Like,
Yeah.
like on
Yeah.
snow, like let's bring back this shovel racing thing, and like downhill mountain biking on snow was wild to watch, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I feel like they kind of got a little too centered onto like, okay, here's our 4 big sports, and like
Danny
that's
Dingo
it.
games.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think so.
Yeah.
Like bring in some other like Olympic sports for fun, like running
no,
and
they're
jumping into sand. But
they're
make it-
taking all of our
maybe
sports.
it's like run and jump into like pudding. You
All right,
know?
now he's going a little left
I don't
field.
know. I'm just saying.
okay. I'm just saying. Where are you trying to show this at?
We lost him again. We lost
yeah,
him
What
again.
network you on?
We had him, we lost
Well,
him.
I'm thinking
We get him for a certain time, he's
Pay
great,
per
and then we
view.
and then we lose him.
Yeah, I know. I
Do they
noticed
have
that. It's
that?
like
All of a
they
sudden,
in and
all of a
out,
sudden, the
in
end,
and
they're
out.
gonna land in a huge custard ball, and
Yeah.
you're like, wait,
that's what I'm saying.
And then if someone clips on the
on a
crust,
hot
it's like
day, on a hot day, hot
Just where you
pudding.
want to be on a hot day is land in warm
No,
custard.
no, no. You don't want to be in there. You want to be along the side
do you,
watching.
do you
these
jump with 2
people.
spoons when you land? You're like, "Kak," you know.
You know, I haven't figured out the full thing, but I'm building the pitch.
Work on that one. That's
if
a
you
good
have
one.
any
yeah.
other crazy ideas to bring back, because you were at the first one, like
No, the first one
you
was
said,
cool.
the
It was exciting.
rock climbing, like that shit's really cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Rock climbing's
to
kind
watch,
of back in.
just because it's like
I'm
different.
not, yeah, I'm not
you know?
dissing it. It just wasn't our thing. And so we worked, you know, when the first X Games came, a lot of us had already been riding and competing for years. And a lot of us weren't young. We had been in the industry for a while, but like this is an opportunity to be on TV. And so for me, what was most exciting about it was I remember watching, I've just found a VHS tape of King of the Skate Parks and racing that I recorded off TV. And so back in the day, they did a show where it was like racing and then some highlights of freestyle. And to me, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be one of those people that I saw on TV that I looked up to. Hopefully that can inspire somebody else. And that was always my approach with it. I thought it would be like a one-off. I didn't know the logistics if they would do it year. I didn't know. Thought it was just like, this was like the biggest thing I'd ever been to. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so for me, I was super excited, but I was on a roach budget. I didn't have anybody paying me, sponsors. I had to pay my own way. I didn't have that much money. It wasn't lavish by any means. On my end, you know, I didn't have, it was still like DIY, however you can get there, make it happen. And, but when I think back to it, it was like the riders, at least from the BMX side, the riders were running it, and those were the same people that were running the BMX contest. So I just felt like it was the same event with the same people, just done it with cameras.
Yeah.
To me, that's what it felt like. But I knew the bigger picture, like, oh, this could turn into something.
Right.
You know?
And then, so you were there. Were you there 99 when Tony landed the 900?
Yeah.
And then that was kind of the, well, no pun intended there, but that was kind of the boom moment, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The huck boom
That
moment.
turned into the boom boom huck jam.
Yeah.
You were on that, correct?
Yeah, I hosted it for 3 years.
Yeah.
It's
And
pretty sick.
And I feel like
That's
that was
rad.
massive. Like a massive turning point for extreme sports.
Dude, it was sick.
A massive turning point for Tony. The video game had been out like a while.
Yep.
You're in the video game too, right?
I was in Matt Hoffman 1 and 2.
Matt Hoffman 1 and 2.
And then I was in Tony Hawk 3, my voice,
Yeah.
and then a character in American Wasteland, Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
So I was technically in 4 games.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty cool to say you're the only biker in a skateboard game, especially
What-
Tony Hawk. You know?
Where'd the biker in black come from? I mean, I don't need to, but like, was
No,
it? Did you
no,
give it
that
to
was
yourself?
like okay. Check it out. Like I always liked black. My aunt always used to wear black, and like I just always thought it looked cool. You know what I mean? You ever see Elvis Presley in the '68 comeback special? Black leather suit. You ever seen those photos? The acoustic. He's beast. Hair all nice. Thought it looked cool, like tough. And then I went through a second divorce, and I was listening to a lot of Johnny Cash, and then he was the man in black. And then I said, oh yeah, I'm the biker in black.
Yep.
And it always stemmed from Johnny Cash.
And then
like,
have you worn black ever since?
Well, here's the deal. Yes, but then for about a year or 6 months I didn't, because then I went through another divorce.
So what we
And I was like, I'm wearing different colors, and I was wearing like white and all these different colors, and it just didn't look right. Didn't feel right.
I dressed appropriately for today.
See what divorce does? Divorce creates nicknames.
Well,
We haven't
I feel
been
like
there
you get
yet.
a few nicknames leading up to a divorce, probably too.
No,
right?
I'm just saying. So biker and black became an attitude, and check it out though. At the same time, like I was the first bike rider in BMX to be tattooed, to wear all black, to have that look. So what I started to realize with what we were doing with TV and my personality, and I didn't want to go back to busting tables. I wanted to come to California. I wanted to make a career out of this. I'd earned it. I said, I'm going to create my own like nickname and my own logo and my own image that I've built over the years through the tattoos are all reminders and my life and my story and who I am. And, I wanted to not necessarily market myself, but people to know who I was, because I knew what it was like to be that guy at the state fair next to the pig races where nobody cared and you're doing all these gnarly tricks. Now we're on this level of like, and so how can I position that into being like my career, And so it was all of it, man. It was like I want people to remember what I'm doing because I want to leave a positive impact.
Yeah.
How
Was it difficult back then, like being covered in tattoos? Because not many people were.
Yeah.
Like
it
just in
was.
day-to-day life?
Funny thing is, well, back then, like when I first got tattooed, would have been like maybe 91. And it still was before mainstream had hit. So people were like, you're either a carny or you've been to jail or you're in a gang, right?
Yep.
And so at first I got one here and then I got one there. And then it just started to happen. And I remember back then you were still looked at like, it was still kind of like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like it's still cool, but it had that, it was different. You were just different.
Yep.
And I remember when I used to work for ESPN for like 5 years. I did my own show on their network called X Today. And Disney owns ESPN. And if you work at Disney, you can't have a tattoo. And I remember, well, I'm a host for ESPN, which is owned by Disney. So I went and got my neck tattooed.
How'd that work
Did
out?
you get any Disney tattoos? Because that
No.
could like.
I
Oh,
could.
a
maybe
Disney
going to-
neck blaster would have been tight.
That would have been sick.
Like
yeah.
a Mickey Mouse neck blaster?
But the thing is that when you get your neck and stuff, and even today with my head, like check out my head.
Whoa, and there's some fresh ones on there, no?
Yeah.
I mean,
Or do you just- you
still got
lotion it
space.
up
You
a
still
lot?
got space.
Yeah, I do. But when you get your head and your neck and stuff and parts of your face, even to this day, I think people get tense about a lot of things. They think you're going to get more aggro than you are.
Right.
Even if it's something, I joke about this, even if it's something as simple of like, what do you mean you don't have any fries here? What are you talking about? You got to have fries.
Yeah.
It's McDonald's,
They
right?
start cutting fries for you.
No, they go like, all right, we're going to need backup. You know what I mean? But if it's like a
Yeah.
dude that's clean cut, it's like, oh, have a Happy Meal on us, They
I didn't know the
they
clean cuts get
tense.
free Happy Meals.
No, but I'm saying people get less tense. They're
Damn it.
less tense.
Yeah.
You're totally right, because I remember like it was definitely a culture shock.
And I get it.
For me moving to Mammoth at like 18, and we were only 18 in our crew and not really that tattooed up, like maybe some lower back tats in our crew or whatever, but they were all hidden.
Who had lower back tats?
I don't want to bring up any names. But
Wait a second,
definitely-
tramp stamps?
Tramp stamps. Anyways,
What? You
but
got a
no,
tramp-
like,
you got a tramp
but then
stamp?
I remember like meeting
Let's
my
all get
first-
tramp stamps.
I remember meeting my first person with like full neck tattoo, right? And I was like, dude, this dude's so hard. Like, it was intimidating.
And you're like, what is this guy going to do for a living?
But he, anyways, and we freaking, but then you get to talk to him. You're like, dude, this dude's like a sweetheart, like so nice and like caring, but like the opposite of what you would think right away.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
ever meet like the leader of a bikie gang? They look like and sound like such sweethearts, but they're not.
Well, this guy wasn't in a biker gang. It wasn't like that. It was like this.
The way he said it, but they're not.
Yeah, they are nice,
No, you know what? I wasn't tattooed as heavily back then in my hands and stuff. But over the course of time, like, I would always joke and be like, a new tattoo, got a new sponsor. Ha ha ha. As a joke, just because people be like, those are job stoppers. I'm like, I create jobs, but it's all part of like, once you start talking to someone, you get the gist of who they are. But yeah, back then tattooed, not many people were doing it. So what leads back to the biker and black thing is that like, the no visor on the helmet and the all black and the tattoos and the punk, that was just me. And I always felt like, dating back to the first X Games, in any show that I've ever done or even contest, I feel like I'm entertaining.
Yeah.
It's a contest with my friends, but like I'm not, it was that race mentality that I didn't have in me is why I wasn't a racer. It's like, I'm here, I'm competing against you, but man, I just want to pull my shit and get the crowd psyched, and that was always me.
Yep.
So I became that kind of person in those contests like that.
Yep.
So then it didn't matter like what place I got after a while. because the crowd knew me from TV, and you're doing, you know what I mean? So it's just all about building your, like, just expressing yourself.
And I think that's a huge part of it, right? Like in our industries, it's like individuality is what can lead to a lifelong career, and not just, you know, trying to fit into some mold that's there or whatever. But being yourself is one of the most important things within our sports, I think, that you can do.
It's funny you say that, fit into things. I always joke about this too, and I take it lightly, okay, because I like to joke. Is I say, like, man, back in the day in school, it was like stoners and jocks, and we were the bikers and the skaters, like, we're punkers, you know, like early 80s was a lot different. And I'm like, over time, it seems like my sports become stoners and jocks. What I used to fight for, now I'm fighting against.
Well, yeah, now it's like, you look at our
crazy.
sports, and you take anything too serious,
Do you
you
know what
kind
I
of
mean,
get
though?
that jock title.
No, it is
right?
crazy though, because like
But
you
there
go to
are
the top
jock
of,
skaters.
yeah, and BMXers.
I'll tell you one thing. Yeah. Oh,
And snowboarders.
absolutely.
And skateboarders.
Absolutely.
Like in every category, there's that guy that you're like, fucking, maybe sometimes it outweighs. Like you go to the top of a ramp at a contest and it's like 50-50. You're like, oh, it's the cool kids. And oh, well, sucks to say, but there's the jocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. And you're saying, like, you know, to be yourself, fit in, is like, I just develop, you know, still even to this day, you're always developing your style and layering your style. I believe that it could ever grow and keep growing. And so that was the thing about why I wanted to be a bike rider too, is that I didn't want to be like that. And I didn't want to be like you, but at the same time, I wasn't trying to be like these guys. You know, it's like just always just being, so that's worked for me and against me in a lot of ways too.
Yeah.
You know, but it's okay. But yeah, stoners and jocks, dude.
Wow.
That could be the name of your contest series, Stoners and Jocks.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
See what I mean? With the pudding, you want to get some Jello in
Dude,
there?
the
You know what I
pudding's,
mean?
I'm
How
telling
much
you,
pudding are you gonna need
we're
for this
gonna
thing?
break the internet with this pudding, long distance pudding jump.
Yeah. It seems like an event for TikTok.
What's that sounds like
What's
what?
TikTok?
Oh yeah, no, yeah. What is TikTok?
I don't know.
Are you putting around with me?
Yeah, you see, like, it's, I don't know.
I
like
couldn't
it.
believe it. FOMO. And I text back in capital letters, fear of missing out.
I've never used that ever.
No, it's pretty
We
good.
would just say sucks for you, bruh,
Yeah, should have been there.
I mean,
yeah.
we should bring that one back.
or rub it in, dude. Rub it in, bruh. I remember my one friend went and saw Metallica back in the day, and he was hyping it up. Oh, Metallica was this, Metallica was this. My one friend goes, rub it in, bruh. He got so bummed.
Did you ever hang with those guys?
I got a funny story with him.
See, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, I feel like we
Well-
could just hit a band and Rick Thorne
Well-
will be like, well, yeah, let me tell you about the time I met James Hetfield. Okay,
No,
tell us.
this is it. But I kind of blew it.
What'd you do?
The ESPN.
Were you a
actually-
super fan? Like, because I know people that are
Oh
like,
yeah,
yeah.
I still am.
Yeah.
I just sung "Seek and Destroy" at the Whiskey A Go Go 2 nights ago. They do an ultimate jam night, and they did the 4 of Megadeth, Anthrax, Slayer, and
Iron Maiden.
Metallica.
Iron Maiden
So
didn't
they're all
make it?
no, they're all covers. That's back like Clash of the Titans kind of vibe. tour.
Okay, yep.
Or no, that would have been Megadeth. But anyhow, it was the Fab Four. That's what they put these Fab Four. And so they asked me to sing "Seek and Destroy," which was awesome. But it's weird because you get up on stage and it was packed that night. There's a few hundred
Whiskey's
people.
kind of big.
Yeah, but for a cover night, like an ultimate jam
Yeah,
night,
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, whoa. You get on stage with people you don't know, and you jam the song, no rehearsal. It's just like live karaoke, go get it. So you got to know the song. But I was hosting this thing for ESPN called ESPN Action Sports and Music Awards Show back in the early 2000s when they were giving awards away. And it was new, and it was in Universal, and all the celebs were there. This is when X Games was firing, and a lot of people wanted to, what are these guys? LL Cool J was there. Like, so many people were there. And Black Sabbath
You
played
pull
there.
LL Cool J out, that's the one.
Yeah, I know, right? You like that card? LL was there. LL Cool J. He just came to my mind, but there was all these people there. Red Hot Chili Peppers was there. Sabbath played. Metallica was there. Linkin Park was there.
Isn't that crazy?
Offspring, Cypress Hill, like everybody was there. And so, but crazy town, but we didn't know each other. We were still kind of getting to know each other, right? And ESPN's like, you got to go here, you got to go there. Oh, come here, I got to interview this person. I got to interview Busta Rhymes and De La Soul. It's cool shit, man. I never thought in my life that
Busta Rhymes with the hair.
Yeah, I didn't have any hosting skill. I just went for it, you know? And so I'm thrown into this. I'm like, this is, man, I'm learning. Let's go. And we're walking and I hear, nice to meet you.
Ha!
I don't know if that's a good James Hetfield.
Did you pick up on that, Danny?
No, I could tell that he lowered his voice.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
I had a feeling
It was Metallica,
like
must
he
Metallica.
spotted
Nice.
like the face without even seeing it.
No, I spotted the hand.
The hand?
And I looked at the hand. I'm like,
Why? What's on the
He
hand?
looked for
no,
tattoos.
because
or
there
what?
was a bunch. We were real crowded.
Does he
and-
have head?
Was it on your
No,
thigh?
no, that's not it. No.
He
We-
touched your thigh?
No.
Nice to meet you.
Nice. That's another story. That was with Danny.
Oh. It was
to
raining
meet
and I
you.
slipped.
That's when we first met, but that's a side. Remember I was on the mountain? Anyways,
That wasn't a prick.
so we were like, it was crowded, we were trying to go through and they're ESPN's stressing, they gotta come over here and get that. And so I'm like,
They're
all
so
right.
stressy.
Yeah, and so I just see this hand come out of the crowd, and I see this hand come at me, and he's like, "Nice to meet you." And I was like, "What?" That's Master of Puppets' voice, and I look up, and it's James Hetfield, and the ESPN's pulling me, and I'm like this, "Take care, see ya." Never got to say hi, but he
But you shook hands?
recognized.
You touched hands?
But he recognized me, and I was like, "Whoa!"
Did you guys touch hands?
Yeah, we did,
Or
but,
Yeah.
was it like
but that was the thing where I was like,
He tipped it.
No, we were like this. It was more kind of like grab my hand, like your real handshake. You do real handshake, and I was limp, like, oh my God, it's James Hetfield. And so then I tried to make up for it and go backstage and say hi to him, but they
Didn't
were
work?
busy. It didn't work. I blew
They
it.
were busy?
I blew it.
That room, what do they call their the jam room or whatever? What's they call the Metallica before they go on stage?
They didn't play there, but they were. Just,
They didn't play. Playing.
No, but they were just doing their thing. But I was like, damn, that was my chance.
I mean, they ended up
Dude,
playing
you
X
should come.
Games.
You should come visit me in Vail because I'm pretty sure James
friends with them?
Hetfield has a place there. I'm not gonna say where it is. 'Cause
I got to give him
don't
a
know.
proper handshake because I gave him the
But
limp sausage.
I heard
dude.
He rides like a little bike. He was riding like a bike past my house
don't
like
throw him under the bus
every
like that.
other day, and I was like,
Rubbing it
Supposed
in.
to go by in a chopper, dude.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's,
yeah. And
he's
like-
on a little bike. He's
like,
Metallica, dude.
hard
He's
to
good.
recognize in biker shorts, but like,
If he's gonna kick your ass. Dude.
Yeah.
well,
You better fight fire with fire, bro.
I would
Yeah,
like
bro,
that.
you're fucked.
You better seek and destroy.
Hang on, let's go back to James Hetfield and biker shorts.
So, anyways, I've never really got to see him, but like literally, my girlfriend would be like, "Yeah, I just like saw James go by."
Oh,
Biker in
wow.
black.
Like she just like I wouldn't be home, and
Whoa.
she'd just be like outside, like sunning on the patio, like waiting for him to come by at like 12:02. There he goes.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
I heard his kids, all the kids from Metallica, from the band, all their kids now have a band.
Makes sense. Yeah. What's his name? The bass
So-
player. What's his name?
Trujillo?
Trujillo. His son has a band, and he is actually playing. From what I've heard, is playing in Suicidal Tendencies.
Yeah, wow. So yeah, I guess it's
That's pretty
Lars,
cool. That's
Trujillo, and James.
They probably fill in shows or whatever, but he has his own band too. I forgot the name of it, but yeah, they all have bands. So that's surprise. Okay, people.
All right, well,
look.
let's talk about your band for a second.
Okay,
And
wait.
when
I'm gonna
did-
tell you this real quick before we get to Good Guys in Black.
Okay.
People ask me all the time, "Hey, does your son ride bikes?" Because you're talking about they play music,
Yeah.
right? And I say no, and they get so bummed. Really? I was like, dude, I did that. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not trying to live through my son and make him do like what I did. If you don't like it, don't do it. But find something you like. But
Plays-
people get so bummed about it. Like, really?
Your son plays
Why
football. Your
not?
son's pretty good at football.
He's amazing.
Your son's tall.
He is.
Is he
He's-
taller than you?
Yep.
Yeah.
A couple inches taller. He's 13. He's full on serious football. It's like,
You guys got to come to a game this year with us.
I would love to, dude. He would be
I've
so.
seen those videos of him. Like he's pretty good.
He's real good. He trains every day. And now we're going to the gym and he's putting on weight. And like, I mean, this is what he wants to do. So I support him. And my daughter's equally as good at lacrosse, but she won't let me post any of her stuff.
Really?
Yeah, she's at that age.
That's all right though.
Yeah.
You're the dad.
I got them in sports. And
You're not
so
cool.
that's all that matters to me is they're doing. Yeah.
Yeah. You're such a jock dad.
I know, right?
Yeah, I could see that. I like he's just like yelling on the sidelines, like, "Come on,
yeah.
take him out
Yeah.
at the knees."
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you were like all of us, like we kind of stayed away from that crowd in high school because, like, one, they would try and beat you up for talking to their chicks,
True.
or two, they just didn't understand what skateboarding was. You know?
Absolutely. Well, I tell my son this. Nobody's going to be happy for you. Nobody's going to cheer you on along the way. Just real talk. Just real talk. Just real talk. You have some friends, whatever. No, this is something you got to want to do yourself, and you got to do it for the right reasons. And if you don't put in the work, you're not going to get any results. And it's really that simple. That's what I tell him.
Yeah.
And he picks up on that, and he understands that. So, and not to be in a depressing way, but you know how it is when you come on, you guys are pros. You're climbing the thing, now everybody's cheering you on, and then when you make it, not everybody's like, yeah, you got sponsored and I'm not. Woo!
Yeah,
like, it's a different world. You got to accept that.
I say you're not going to please everybody, so please yourself.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Fuck it.
Let's jump in some pudding.
Yeah, let's talk about some pudding and Good Guys in Black.
Yes, let's talk about.
So how long is this? Have
I'm
you
glad
been
you brought
playing
this
music?
up.
Yeah.
Because I brought a couple CDs.
Oh, nice.
Even though no one uses CDs.
I was going to say CDs.
Did you
It's
just
a-
pull?
it's a-
Did you just pull 2 CDs out of your pocket?
deposit.
I
Wow, look at this. Here we are. We're live with CDs.
This is my new
Man.
mixtape, son.
You know what's crazy is like these CDs
Nice.
are like
I
back.
actually have a car I can put this in.
You know what? This
That
is
makes sense.
This is new cutting
Dude,
edge
this
shit.
graphic
This is
is
called a
sick.
compact disc. Okay, it's new. You might not have heard of it. Similar to an 8-track.
Wow.
Don't break it. There's a CD in there.
There's really a real CD in here.
Yes. What are you doing to me? Those cost
Okay,
me
so
$1.95 to make that.
When did you start playing music? What was it? How'd you get into a band?
I started a band back in '98 because, well, if you want to know the truth, I'll just tell you, I felt like I needed a voice beyond just like bike riding, and I wanted to express myself, and it was just always a dream to be able to play music, learn how to play music. But it's been a rad road, dude. I'll tell you that much. But like music, it's like riding. You keep always developing your style, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You keep layering your style. You keep doing different things. And so it was a dream. So I stuck with it and still got it going on.
That's so cool. And then obviously along the way, I'm sure you've got to play with some bands you've looked up to.
Yep. I
Growing
played
up
with,
in-
dude, Suicidals,
Sick.
Pennywise,
Sick.
Guttermouth, list goes on. Polly, I can't even think. I did a show once with Lemmy's band,
Wow.
Hepcat at the Roxy.
Yeah, R.I.P.
And Mark Mahoney got me on that show.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, because they did the St. Patrick's Day, and they had it at the Roxy. So Mark asked me, so I got to open up for Lemmy's band. I was like, what? I even opened up for Soulja Boy once at this skate event.
The rapper?
Yeah, which is more music. And back then, I was like way more rawer and punker and less melodic than I am now.
Really?
Not that
You
I'm
think you've
super
changed a
melodic.
lot? I don't think you've changed much.
The music has a bit.
Oh, it has?
Quite a bit, yeah. From the early, you know. But yeah, man, we're getting ready to play Shred Fest. It's this event at the Pink Motel.
Pink Motel in NorCal?
Yeah, no, in SoCal, in San Fernando Valley.
Oh, okay.
So Pink Motel has been around forever, and it's basically like a rental for a movie set, and it has a pool, and so they have a bunch of punk bands playing. Cab's band's gonna be there, Mike Vallely's band, Salva's band, my band. It's gonna be cool.
That's pretty sick.
And then they skate the pool, and then I'll probably bomb it on my bike, and they'll kick me out.
Are you still in search of pools?
Yeah, always. Well, I haven't been as heavy lately because here's the thing about pool riding is you lose tricks because you can't do a lot of tricks in a pool.
What pool's this over here? You're actually on the wall over here.
That's a park.
That's a skate park.
Oh, looks like
Yeah,
a
that's
pool.
a secret skate park. I'm not going to say that one
looks
because
looks like a pool from here.
if I say what park that is, then the reason why I go there is no one goes
Oh, is
there.
that
Blows it
Fontana?
down?
Yeah, it's Fontana. I agree with you. Yeah.
Oh,
No,
so
but-
it's not. Poway, where are we at? Where are we at with this one?
No, here's the deal.
He's not
Pools,
gonna tell you.
Pools are awesome. It's so fun to hit a pool. Never been, but it's a commitment, man. Like as my kids got older, and they got more involved in their sports, and my son's training and my daughter's training and mine, I have less time to be like scouting pools, right? And then all the other things doing with the band and all these other stuff that I got going on, it's less time, so I haven't been on the hunt. But you know, pools come and go anyways. You know.
What's your best pool or S story?
We were riding this pool one time, and you had to go up this hill. This driveway is a long driveway up, so we had to jump and go. We didn't drive, but we went up this big property that was up here, and all the properties were big, right? And we look and we see, oh man, a cop's coming up here. So just for the record, a lot of times cops come, they're pretty cool about it. I think a lot of times they think we're like squatters or drug dealers or trying to live there, because that happens quite a bit.
Yeah.
And so we're like, all right, well, don't run. There's like 5 or 6 of us. And the cops went to the neighbors over here, and they came in their backyard and crept around. And they think we didn't see them, but we knew they were coming. And they came out with their guns pulled, bro. And I was like, we're all quiet and you hear my bike go ching, 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 hits the ground and we're like, ah. And that was the only time where I was like, damn, this is sketchy. Like these dudes could have just, you know what I mean?
Fired up on us.
Or if I was by myself, you know, they let us go, but some dudes have gotten trespassing tickets and stuff like that. But
you never got a trespassing ticket?
Cops are usually cool.
Yeah.
They're usually cool. They say, what are you doing here? We're just shooting a photo on that guy. But we don't go in the house and the houses are gone anyways. But that was scary though. Like I was scared because I've never had, despite what I look like and what I do, I've never had a problem with cops.
Yep.
Nah. All right, gotta go. All right, later. I'm not trying to, you know what I mean? We're good. But that one was scary. Yeah.
That's crazy. You've never been arrested.
No. My whole life.
Maybe
I think people have a misconception about me because I'm hyper in the way I look.
No, I don't know.
Not you, but just in general.
I don't mean arrested in like day to day, whatever life. I just mean like in a life where you've spent most of your life jumping fences and riding pools. I feel like there's one time they're like, we got you, locked him up.
No.
Not even.
Just be a smooth talker. And then once you get on TV, it's a lot easier. Then you just give them an autograph. And you say, Tony Hawk.
We had that one time. Actually, yeah, right.
What's your name? Oh, I'm Tommy Hawk, Tony's brother.
I got pulled over one time in LA driving the motorhome, and I'm like, oh no, like this isn't going to be good. I think I forgot to put that insurance, or not insurance, but the tag on there or something. Guy pulls me over and he's like, hey, check this out. And he just pulls up his sleeve. He's got a big old grenade tattoo. And I'm like, whoa. You know, and I feel like a lot of people don't realize, but you know, not that cops aren't just like us, but they all grew up with some of the same, you know, passions we had. So
yeah,
it's fun to get those interactions where you're like, wow, you're just so pleasantly surprised and like realize that like, wow, there's a lot in common. Any
snowboarders ever become cops after snowboarding?
For sure.
A lot of bike riders have. It makes me think like, that's cool. It makes me think like, you're not going to bust fools for what you used to do, right? You know what I mean? You're going to be cool about us riding these stairs, right? Like,
I feel like they come in harder, but then let them all go. Like they're like, yeah, I used to do this.
If you're cool with police and you don't, I mean, I don't know, we're talking about cops, but like if you're cool with people, they're cool with you. Pools is sketchy though, because not only you have to worry about
you're
cops,
in someone's house.
You have to worry about drug dealers and homeless people and other things that could be. So we don't go by ourselves or anything, and usually it's we're just there to hit that pool and bounce,
right?
You know, but there's something about it though. Like I went through that because I used to live in Beverly Hills and I got divorced and I had to let all that stuff go. And I'm a Midwest kid. No one gave me that. I earned it. And it was hard. It was hard, bro, because that's right when I started this band, because people were giving me some static about my popularity and I wanted to start to do something different. And then I had to go through that and let that go. And I couldn't let go of it at first. I literally couldn't. It was hard. It was hard. Start over, go back to an apartment. Like after having a pool, I've been here 12 years. This place is bomb. You know what I mean? Like I'm in the hills. Like I've been through this and been through that surgery and used to ride my bike to work and save my money and didn't do drugs and didn't party and then put myself in debt and did all these things to get this. And I was like, man, why? And then I started riding pools. And it made me go, hey, I can't take this with you.
Yeah.
We're going to some properties in the hills that are multi-million, man. And you'd be like, they're tearing this down in a week. And you just look at the house, man. And you're like, at one point in time, someone was thinking, I was thinking, you got it made, you got this house, you got your family, which is all great and lovely while you're here, do it. But there's reaches a point where you're going to have to let go.
Yeah.
And that's what that taught me. It was a lesson that I had to teach myself to let go of things and not them have power over me, no matter what it is. And to let go of things. And so that was something that I fell in love with for a while with the pools because I needed that. But then over time, it started to degress my ability because I was losing all my tricks. So as you're getting older, you got to stay on your tricks or they're going to go away.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, okay, pools are cool. I got to get back to hitting the park and keep up with my game. So anyways, the pools was just about a learning lesson in my life to really just like learn to let go.
I love it.
Yeah, no, I think that's
got emotional.
huge. And even for me, that like really strikes a chord because I've kind of like have this philosophy, you know, as like if you can let go of stuff and, you know, deal with it, like I think that it really, the more you can let go, the more things will come back to you.
Yeah.
In a way, you know, like down the road and, you know, universal kind of karma thing, but you appreciate it more as it comes back if you have the ability to let go and detach yourself from.
Well, it's all vibrations too. Like, I'll say this real quick. Your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between hot, cold, high, low, rich, poor. So if you keep telling the same story and thinking the same thoughts over and over again, what do you think your subconscious mind is going to lead you to? The exact same thing, because that's all you're seeing, because that's all you're saying. So when I say I lost my house, I don't say that. I say I lost a house. See the difference? Your mind hears it. I practiced that in order to get past things, because it was devastating, Dingo. Like, all this popularity and all this stuff we're talking about. And Monster, I'll give props right now, was the main sponsor, the only sponsor that stuck with me through all of this. Like, I had to literally kind of start over in a way.
Yep.
And the way that I did it is I had to reprogram the way I thought, and the way that I was speaking, and the way I felt about things, and I looked at things. And I would just go out and ride, man, and take a GoPro and ride, and just, that became my thing. So a lot of times I've found in my own life that when I repeat the same stories, if I don't remind myself that it's an old story, then that's all I see in all these other things in life. And so then I feel like nothing's getting better. And it's when you start telling a new story.
Yeah.
So the whole pool thing was telling a new story of like, okay, I get it. So I'll get another house, and this is great, and this is awesome, but keep it moving.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we love you at Monster Energy.
Thank you.
You are very loved, and Danny does this thing where he works extremely hard, and you got to answer these very quick. But
Am I talking too much?
It's lightning round. No, not at all.
You're the host. I mean, you're the guest of this podcast.
You're supposed to talk.
If anyone can.
Sometimes I get a complex at a podcast because I feel like I might be talking too much or dragging.
But you're
on
the
too much.
guest. That's because you have your own podcast. So it's like trust me, I do the same thing. Sometimes I feel like I'm talking too much, but I'm not supposed to. I'm supposed to let you talk.
Okay.
Okay, can I have a turn to talk, guys? Jeez.
Is it about
All right,
pudding?
I'll toss. You answer the question. No, that topic's over.
See,
Sorry.
okay, let's
we
go.
all got like jumpy a little bit on that topic. Anyways, let's switch it up to some fun shiznit. What's your favorite thing about living in California?
The weather.
What's your favorite thing about the Midwest?
People seem to be upfront and genuine about things. Like, yeah,
Real.
yeah, real.
Do you have a most meaningful tattoo? And if you can't think of that, what's the last tattoo?
The meaningful would be never give up on my hand, because I put it there on purpose.
Cool.
Or
I got this one. Check it out. Where is it? No regrets? Is it somewhere?
Wrong arm, maybe.
No, they're
got a-
all on this one.
You got a carrot over there.
Wait,
upper management.
You
That's
got
a big
carrot?
one.
Yeah, you got a carrot?
Yeah, that's the last one I got. The girl I was coaching, I got to teach her a cab 1080 before the
sick.
Olympics, but I brought a carrot up and I was like waving it around
Oh,
because she
sick.
has a similar tattoo, and I was like, if you land this,
I'll get the tattoo. Well, I think that one or my monster tattoo on my thumb.
That one's cool.
Oh,
You got a monster tattoo?
Yeah, I've had that for years. Look. So when I shake your hand, it's like, what's up?
Yeah.
What's up, Rick?
Dingo, you got a monster tattoo?
He does right there.
Right there? No, I don't.
You don't? Step it up, dude.
Paul's
Oh,
got-
here's
Paul's
a
got
meaningful one.
Oh,
What
wait.
would you-
What was my last tattoo?
Guys, lightning round.
Lightning round.
Oh, okay.
What would you tell your younger self in 10 words?
And step it up.
Favorite place you've ever traveled on tour?
Australia.
Gnarliest BMXer of all time.
Matt Hoffman.
Sick.
Most hardcore BMX scene in the world.
Kansas City.
And for the final question,
Yes.
besides your own,
Yeah.
who is the best punk band ever?
Oh, man. Can I give me 1 minute here? Minor Threat.
Sick. That was pretty easy for you.
Yeah. Minor Threat.
Good guys don't wear white.
And you know that song is a cover song by the Chantels?
Really?
Yeah. They covered that. That's not their song. It's crazy, right?
That was one of my first CDs ever. Minor Threat. So good.
That's a wrap.
We're done?
Dude, it happened so quick.
Does.
Hey, thank you for coming on.
You can just move over and we put the
Nice
next
to
guest
meet
in.
you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Rick Thorne, we love you, dude. We appreciate
Thanks.
you.
I love you too. Thank you.
Unleashed with the Dingo and Danny. Fueled by Monster Energy.